Mm-hmm. Data file, Redolog file, archive file, P file.
Data file is where we store the original data of the.
Yeah, original data. And whenever you do a
Yes, sir.
transaction, the data will generate, along with the data, redo entry also generate. The
Redlog,
data goes and sit
Redlog
in your
data will
data
also
file,
present.
and the redo entry will go and sit in Redolog file. The backup of
Yes,
your
sir.
Redolog files are archive log files. If your
Archive file.
database is running in archive log mode state, then all your online Redolog files will be backed up. They are also called as offline Redolog files, or else archive log files. What is P file, guys?
It is a text file, sir.
Okay. Mm-hmm. P file is a text file.
Oracle data will usually starts with the P file only,
Okay.
and it contains the memory configuration of a data.
Yeah. To start your Oracle instance, you need some memory configuration, right? That memory configuration information, your SGA information, will be stored in your P file, all your memory information.
Name
Okay, if
convention is
P file is missing, what
editor
happens?
SID.
If P file is missing, what happens?
Will not start, sir, because memory configuration will store in that
Yeah,
only.
the instance itself not start. The
Yes, sir.
instance, the Oracle instance, the memory will not be allocated. No Oracle instance, no background process will start. Nothing will happen. Without P file, can I start a database, Oracle database? No.
No, sir.
What is the naming convention of P file?
Init SID dot ora.
Okay, what is the location of P file?
Location of P files are Oracle home.
Oracle home, database, or DBS. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is control file?
It is exact path of the data file or regular file and of SCN and logic
First of all,
sequence numbers.
control file is a binary file. It contains a name and SID of the database, and the exact path and the location of your data files, Redolog files, and arclog files. At the same time, it has information about your current running log sequence number and SCN information. Everything will be there with the log sequence. What is that? Control file. What is SCN? System change number. So Oracle database has some SCN kind of thing, the internal clock, which tracks all the changes happened in your database. For each and every commit, it will give you one SCN number. Another one is log sequence number. Log sequence number means every Redolog file will have one log sequence. One Redolog file is running. That is log sequence number one. For second one, log sequence number two. For third one, whenever it is switching the log, then one log sequence number will be created. Is it fine with everyone? All these things. Any doubt here? P file is a text file. Control file is a binary file. What is the control file naming convention?
CNTRL SID D.
.dbf. Location of control files?
SAP data home.
SAP data 1, Urilog A, and Urilog B. Right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Oh, can anyone explain me SGA, System Global Area? What is SGA? System Global Area. The memory configuration. Whenever you try to start your database, it will occupy some memory. That memory is called as SGA in Oracle. That is also called as Oracle's architecture. So this SGA contains few memory areas. The total SGA size is, for example, we have taken that example of 6 GB. If your SGA size is 6 GB, when you start your Oracle database, what happens? It will occupy 6 GB of memory. Out of that 6 GB, we have some other memory areas. What are they? Buffer cache, Redolog buffer, shared pool, large pool, Java pool, stream pool, and fixed SGA. If you combine all these memory areas, the total will be your SGA size. Remember here, these colored things are mandatory things. This gray color are optional: large pool, Java pool, stream pool. This buffer cache, you know about buffer cache. Buffer cache has three type of buffers. What is that? Pinned buffer,
Free buffers are pinned
dirty
buffer
buffer,
and dirty buffer.
free buffer. Dirty buffers means committed data. Pinned buffer means written yet to commit. Free buffer means free buffer. So whenever you do is any transaction, first the data will generate in buffer cache, the redo entry will generate in redo log buffer. Means before going to the hard disk files, first the data is generating in your RAM. First the data will generate in RAM. Later it will be moved to your data files and redo log files. Whatever the information is there in buffer cache will be written to your data files. The information of redo log files, redo log buffer will be written to your redo log files. Who will write this redo log buffer information to redo log files? Log writer. Who will write buffer cache information to your data files? DB writer. There are five types of
DB writer.
processes, right? DB writer, log writer, checkpoint, SMON and PMON. When this DB writer will write, there are three conditions. One is when checkpoint initiates. Checkpoint is another process. When checkpoint initiates, DB writer to write all the dirty buffers to data files, means all the committed data to data files. It will have some time. After that, for example, each and every 5 minutes or 10 minutes, this checkpoint will initiate DB writer to write all the things. Or else, when 1/3 of buffer cache is dirty, means if this buffer cache is having 1/3 of committed data, then also DB writer write all the data to data files. When there is no free space, there is no chance, right? At that condition also, this buffer cache is a dirty buffer, committed data will be written to your data files. But when it comes to redo log files, log writer, how log writer will write? When you say commit, that means if I create a sales order, immediately the data will come into buffer cache and redo log buffer. From redo log buffer, immediately it will go to redo log files, but not to data files. Why? Immediately commit. When you say commit, your log writer is writing this redo log buffer information to your redo log files, and every 3 seconds. And when there is no free space in redo log buffer, very importantly, before DB writer, these 4 conditions. So who is aggressive here, log writer or DB writer? Who is aggressive, log writer or DB writer? Log writer, right? So for example, some 20 to 30 transactions happened. Immediately my database shut down. Do you have all the committed transactions in your data files? No, that will be in buffer cache only. But all the transaction you will get from redo log files. Are you getting, guys? Or you forgot? Go Goa gone. Or did you remember these things? You remember, I hope. So this Oracle architecture is having some logic, boss. It is not just like SAP. SAP is, I don't find any logic in SAP, but this Oracle architecture is, there is a connection between one topic to another topic. Yes or no? Did you feel the same? Guys, I am on mobile data. See, I am confused whether my voice is audible to you or not. Please respond.
Yes, sir, we are getting you.
Yes, please respond. Okay, be interactive so that I'll get confused. Okay, see, so what we were discussing, yeah, did you guys remember everything, right? So if data files, suddenly my power gone, what happens? This is all your RAM memory, right? Your RAM memory is the volatile memory. That means all the data from RAM will be vanished, deleted. From where you recover the data? In data files, you don't have everything. Up to date data, you will have everything in data files, but up to date data you will get from redo log files. So if your redo entries are safe, if your redo log files are safe, your database is safe, you can recover By using redo log files, you can do recovery. Remember this. And what is shared pool? Shared pool is for parsing of SQL statements. Whenever you throw some SQL statement, it will do parsing. Parsing contains syntax check and a semantic check. Syntax means the structure of the statement. Semantic means the meaning of the statement. If you throw an SQL statement, it will check whether the structure is, SQL is a structure query language, right? The structure should be good and the meaning should be also good. Then only it will compile your SQL statement. So here in a shared pool, we are having two things. One is library cache, second one is dictionary cache. Library cache contains the user executed SQL statements of parsing data. Dictionary cache contains whenever you execute some SQL statement, system also calls some internal SQL statements to bring the data out. That SQL statements of parsing data will be shared in your dictionary cache. So if your shared pool size is big, if you give shared pool size generous, then it will hold more parsing data. If you throw the same SQL statement one more time, it won't do the parsing. Already the parsing information is there, already that statement is valid statement, immediately it will compile and it will give the result. If you throw a new SQL statement which is not there in library cache and dictionary cache, then it will take some time to do the parsing, syntax check and semantic check. Then if everything is okay, then it will compile and it will give the result. So which one is good for you? Already you are having your SQL statement there, or sending a new SQL statement? Which one is good? Please respond. Whether it may be right or wrong.
Already having SQL statement.
Already having a skill statement. Great. And a large pool for PLSQL statements, execution of PLSQL programs, it will use large pool area. For execution of Java programs, it will use Java pool area. For execution of, no sorry, for data replication, it will use stream pool area. These three memory areas are optional. You can, if you want, you can give that memory areas, or else if you don't give large pool size, Java pool size, stream pool size, it will use shared pool area at the time of PLSQL program executions, Java programs executions, and for at the time of data replication, it will use shared pool area. But in SGA, the mandatory memory areas you have to define is buffer cache, redo-log buffer, shared pool, and fixed SGA. Is it fine with everyone?
Yes. Yes, sir. No.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. And we discussed each and every topic differently, right? Data files, redo-log files, archive files, SCN, P file, control file, and today we'll try to combine all these processes. How your database is starting, how it is reading your data files, what happens in a backend. We'll see at a shot. I'll try to cover that. See, do you know all these things? P file, control file,
Yeah.
data file, redo-log file, archive file, and the instance. What is the instance, guys? Anyone? Instance.
A combination of processes and
Combination of processes plus what
process
processes?
and
What?
RAM memory. Yeah.
Yeah. What RAM memory means? What in
If
Oracle? We have a name for that.
SG.
SG.
Excellent.
SG.
Right? SGA plus some processes. What are the processes? DB writer, log
DB
writer,
writer, log writer,
checkpoint, right?
SMON,
Daemon.
Daemon.
These processes, who will start these processes? Your processor. Your processor, right? Your processor. Right. Who will give this SGA memory? Your RAM. The combination of this RAM, allocation of this RAM memory plus processor giving processes, This is collectively called as a instance. Am I right? This is collectively
Yes,
called
sir.
as instance.
Instance.
Wait for a minute. See this image. We discussed this. See, database instance is nothing but your processes: DB writer, log writer, checkpoint, SMON, PMON, plus the memory structure, your SGA, buffer cache, redo-log buffer, shared pool, large pool, stream pool, Java pool, and fixed SGA. The combination of these two, yellow part, is your database instance. And this data files, log files, archive files, P file, your control file, where you will get all these things? In a hard disk. This is completely logical one. This is physical one. In hard disk, you will get P file, you have a location. Control file, you have a location. Data file location, log file location, archive file location. These are all you will find at a hard disk level. The combination of your logical plus the physical structure will create your database management system. So to start your database, you need to start instance as well as data files, log files, P file, physical files, as well as this logical structure. Logical structure is what? Memory should be allocated, background process need to be start. The combination of that is, first of all, you have to start the instance. After starting instance, you need data files, log files, everything. The combination of all these logical and physical one, both called as database. We'll see that now. Are you getting? See,
Yes, sir.
what I told you, when we start the database, first which file it will read?
P file.
P file. See, what is the P file location? DBS or database. In Windows it is DBS, Linux it is a database, or vice versa. I'm not sure. Okay. In Oracle Home, DBS or database location, you will be having one file called parameter file. That file is what? Init SID dot ora file. That file contains your SGA information, right? By reading that file, it will start the instance. Instance means what? It will occupy memory, plus it will start some processes. The combination of your SGA, RAM, SGA occupation plus this processor collectively called as a instance. First this will happen. That means when you start your Oracle database, when you say startup database, it will read P file from this location. According to this, in this P file you will be having your SGA information, redo-log buffer, shared pool, Java pool, stream pool, all the information will be there. It will read that files and it will occupy according to that files your memory, and it will start some processes. This thing is called as an instance. Along with this SGA information, this P file contains control file locations. Can I show you? It contains control file locations. See, what is P file location? Oracle Home, under this database init sid.ora, right? If I open this file, it is having your shared pool size, everything. My screen is visible?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It is having all your memory information. Along with that memory information, it is having one thing called control file location. See, control file location is what? One is Orilog A, second location is Orilog B, and third location is SAP data 1. So it will read this P file and it will start the instance. After starting instance, it will read this control files from these three locations. What is a control? SID, CNTRL, SID.dbf, CNTRL, SID.dbf. And the location is same: Oracle, SID, Orilog A, Orilog B, and SAP data 1. It will go and read that control file. See what it is doing? It will read after starting instance. It is reading control file from the three locations. This control file contains exact path and location of your data files, redo log files, and archive log files. The control file information is what? For example, in control file, it is C drive, Oracle, Dev folder, SAP data 1, data 2, data 3, data 4. Okay. Redo log files information, C drive, Oracle folder, Dev, under Dev, you will be having Urilog A, Urilog B. That information is written. It will compare whatever the information it is written in your control file, and it will check whether that files are present there at that location or not. If all are present, whatever the information it is written in your control file contains all this information, right? Where your data files, redo log files, archive files are located. It will compare whether this location and these files are valid or not. Once valid, then it will open the database. Otherwise, it won't open the database. And remember, an end user can log in into the database which is in open state. First, it will read P file. By reading P file, it will start the instance. After starting instance, this P file only contains control file information, control file location also, not control file information, control file location information. It will go and read that control file from that 3 locations. Control file is having what? The exact path and location of these 3 physical files, data files, redo log files, actual your data files, right? Actual data research in these files. This location, it will compare. Okay, C drive, Dev location. Okay, everything is fine. Then only it will open the database. An end user can log in into the database which is in open state. Only administrators can log in into the database which is not in open state. What is that state? We'll discuss. See, if control file information and this physical files information has mismatched, then your database is not going to open. Remember that. Can I show you that? Is it clear? What is control file naming convention? CNTRL SID.dbf. This file contains, this is a binary file. This is a physical file. Physical file you can directly read. But how can you read this binary file? Can you read the binary file? No. So what we do, we convert this binary file into text format. There is a procedure. I'll show you that. By that, you can read that. How much time left, guys? See, I'll show you how to start the database now. See, my application is running. On database, I have my application. My application is running. Can I stop my database directly when my application is running?
No.
No.
In one apartment, a few people are residing, living. Can you dismantle the pillars while they are
No.
in live in that? No, na? The same way. That is the reason. First of all, you have to stop your application. Then only you should stop your database. Directly don't start and stop your database while your application is running. Your database is a pillar. On that pillar, you are having your application, right? So I'm stopping my SAP system. First, stop. Then I can play with my database. I can start and stop the database. Here you are going to see some technical words like Nomount-Mount-Open. Just observe that. I'll explain. ACC stopped. Yes. Now I can play with my database. How to log in into the database? Just go to your command prompt. So to talk with your SQL, to talk with your database, you should log into SQL prompt first. Directly I cannot go, right? So SQL plus it is a tool. See what happens now. See, I got SQL prompt. Now connect as sysdba database administrator. Now I connected to my database. Now I can start and stop the database. Now I'll say start. So what happens? Oh, sorry. Startup, not start. Startup. Cannot start, already running. Oracle, shut down it first. Okay. Shut down. I'm saying shut down. What happens? See. Closed, dismounted. Oracle instance is shut down. Instance shutdown means it is releasing your RAM memory and it is stopping your processes. Instance starting means it is occupying memory plus it is starting the processes. Now I'll say, see, startup. When I say startup, what happens? See, now first what happens? It will read the P file and it will start the instance. See, your SGA system global area is allocated. The Oracle instance started. That means your SGA is allocated, background process started. Then it came to mounted, then opened. What is the meaning of instance started, mounted, open? This area, when it is starting the instance, this is called as a no mount phase. No mount, mount, open. No mount, mount, open. At no mount phase, what happens? Three phases are here. No mount, mount, open. When shutting down, see, open means first it will close, mounted means it is dismounted, instance started means instance shutdown. The reverse. Are you observing this? Two things. Instance started, mounted, opened at the time of starting. At the time of shutdown, first closed, then unmounted, dismounted, then instance is shut down. Here we have three things: no mount, mount, and open. What is no mount, mount, and open? Interview question. See, first the database will be in no mount phase. When it is in no mount phase, it will read the P file and it will start the instance. Now it will read the control file. When it is reading the control file, it will come to mount phase. At mount phase, what it will do? It will read all this data files information, Redolog files information, archive information. If everything is okay, then it will come to open state. So at a no mount phase, it will start the instance. At mount phase, it will validate your control file and physical files. If everything is okay, it will come to open state. And end users can log in into the database when it is in open state. But as an administrator, you can log in into the database when it is no mount phase, when it is mount phase. You can start the database up to no mount phase. You can start the database up to mount phase. You can start the database up to open state as an administrator. But end user only log in into the database when it is in open state. Remember that. Okay, first it will be no mount phase. At no mount phase, it will read the P file and start the instance. Instance means RAM memory plus SGA occupied plus your process is started. Then it will go to mount phase. At mount phase, it will validate your control file and validate all these files. If everything is okay, whatever the information which is written in your control file and the exact location of these files is matched, then only the database will come into open. So no mount, mount, open. When it is shutting down, close, dismount, no mount. See, once again I'll start the database. Now it is open, right? Now I say shut down. First it will be closed, dismounted, and finally the instance is closed. Closed, dismounted. Instant shutdown means what? The RAM memory is released. This is the proper way of shutdown. If you directly power down, switch off your laptop, what happens? Your RAM memory will not be released. If you say a proper shutdown, then what happens? Your RAM, all the applications will be down and all the processes will be stopped and your RAM memory will be released. That is what your instance shutdown. Now I'll say startup. So first it will read the P file and it will start the instance. It is no mount phase. Now it is reading the control files, coming to mount phase. Now it is validating your physical files. If everything is okay, it is coming to open state. So you have to believe me, or else we'll do practically. We'll delete one file from that. Okay, first I'll show you what we have in control file. How it is validating your control file into your physical files. Okay. So control file location is what? SAP data 1, Urilog A and Urilog B. That is binary file. You cannot read that. If you want to read that, there is a command called alter database command. Alter database backup control file to trace. Remember this. Alter database is the regular command. That is A. Alter database means A. B. Backup. C. Control file. A, B, C. Alter database backup control file to trace. What is trace? There is one directory called SAP trace, guys. See, in your Oracle SAP home, you will be having one SAP trace directory. So it is moving this file to this trace directory as a text file. So if you run this command, enter, database is altered. Now go and check in your trace directory. Oracle SAP trace, under that a dog, RDBMS, a dev, trace. Under this folder you will be getting one trace file. What is time? Date modified. What is time now? 8:38. 8:37 you got one file. 8:30. I think this one. The trace files open with options. See this one. Not this one, I think. No. It's 8:37. See what is time now? 8:39. Na? I'll run one more time. Same command, alter database, a backup control file to trace. I'll check. 8:37. This one, I think. Open with. Where is that file? 8:36. 8:39 got 38. Where is that? This is alert log file. Not this one. KB to KB. Rachana, what is that file name? Did you remember? Why it is not generating? I'll show you tomorrow that control file. See, I am saying that this control file information and physical file information matched, then only your database will come into open state. Otherwise, the database won't come to open state, right? This is what my statement. Okay. So what I do, I'll delete one file from this data files location. Here is my data files. Okay. Oracle. Sorry. SAP data 1 from system_1. I'm deleting this file. Cut. It is in use. What it is saying?
HANA cut paste.
అదే చేసిన కదా,
Cut paste అవుతుంది.
కట్ పేస్ట్ చేసిన. ఓకే, I'll stop the details otherwise. Shut down first. Okay, now I'll see, I deleted that file. Now I'll try to start. What happens? See, startup. First it will read your P file. P file, no problem is there. It will start your instance. It will go to mount phase. At mount phase, it will compare the physical files and the control file information. If something is wrong, the database won't come into open state. Startup. Instance will start. No mount. Now it will be mounted. See, it is mounted. And finally, what it is saying, cannot identify local data file 1. DB rated. Look at the DB trace file. What it is saying, C Oracle SID SAP data 1 system_1 system data data file. This file is missing, right? System data 1. How? Your control file has this information, but when it comes to physical location, that file is missing. That is the reason the database only coming to no mount, then mount, no open state. It needs a recovery. You have to recover that, then only it will come to open state. Now what I'll do, I'll shut down one more time and I'll copy that file to that location again. Where is that? SAP data 1 system 1. No? Oh, sorry, system 1. System 1. Right. Now see what happens. Now I'll start up. Now I'll try to start the database. Now it will go to mount. First, no mount means instance will start. Then it will go to mount. Then open. Mounted. Now open. See, if the control file information, physical files information is not matched, the database won't come into open state. Is it fine with everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Any doubts from today's session? Tomorrow we'll discuss a backup concept, backup, restore, recovery. If you understand these concepts well, then only you will understand that backup. Any doubts from today's session? Yes or no?
No.
Chalo.
Go on.